as you summed it up perfectly. They were not at their best. Even some of the players that came in, you're thinking, go on, make a real impact today. It didn't quite happen. But the manager will be delighted. You know, they've got more minutes under Alexander Isak. And I think the one player that will come out of this for me would have probably got the most out of it would have been Federico Chiesa.
Yeah.
I thought he was fabulous today. You know, energy, desire. It hasn't gone well from it since he's been there. He's had a few moments, and definitely lately you've seen a real sign that he started to go back to the player that we all knew that he possibly could be with injuries, etc. But I felt today he was just what they needed, because without him they would have been in a bit of a hole, because it definitely got the penalties. The 2 assists were exceptional.
Do you think for the majority of the others, nobody really laid down a marker? Those who are on the verge of maybe a starting 11 of going, I need to be picked, I need to start.
Yeah, it was interesting because I thought that Jamie mentioned before the game about Curtis Jones. He's a player I fondly admire as well. I think he's absolutely outstanding. I was, to see him coming off the pitch during the second half, I was quite confused about that in terms of good opportunity for him to get substantial minutes under the belt. But he knows where he stands in that Liverpool team. He knows he'll probably have more minutes to come. But I think Andy Robertson as well looked pretty solid. He was consistent. But I totally agree regarding Chiesa. I thought those 2 moments of quality, he looked the sharpest. He took the game by the scruff of the neck at times. And he's exactly what Liverpool needed.
Yeah, I mean, one of those players who isn't going to have to say, I want to be picked, is Alexander Isak. He will be one of the first names on the team sheet. And you mentioned
definitely now that
definitely now, yeah.
Play the weekend.
And you mentioned Chiesa's 2 assists. This was the first.
Yeah, he's so alive here. Obviously, Southampton get caught. They play an out from the back. McCarthy gives it to his left centre back, and he doesn't really want it in that position. But Chiesa's so bright, because not just the first touch, it's then how quickly he's already assessed that Isak is on his own, because he knows the 2 centre backs obviously been drawn 20, 30 yards away from himself. So he knows as soon as that ball gets played to him, Isak is free. If I can get him a touch away and then whip it into him, and it's a really good finish as well. Really good centre forward play, but great energy from Chiesa.
Got the minutes in the first half, got his goal, and then as we saw them at the break, they got the extra minutes in for him in these shuttle runs.
Yeah, the top-ups. I'm not sure how long he was doing them for, but he clearly needed to hit a few extra markers. The physical performance staff, I think their reputation so far this season for keeping players fit is outstanding. The squad availability that Arne Slot's got is very visible, and clearly just topping up a little bit. Would you like that, Jamie?
No.
It was good to get back out there and score my first goal here at Anfield, and the win as well. So it's a good night.
Is there a sense of relief after the first 40 seconds or so when you might have scored?
Yeah, of course. I should have scored that one as well. But that's a part of being a striker. You miss some and you score some, and I think the most important is to shake it off and to be ready for the next one.
Yeah, you did that. What does it mean? You must think a lot about that first goal, getting that first goal. So seeing it arrive.
Yeah, I just try to play my game and not think too much, and I feel confident in myself. That things will work out, and that when I get my chances, I'll put them away. That's my mindset, and I'm happy I put one away today.
Well, you're working on your fitness, I know, but are you fit and ready to go from the start on Saturday? Because it looks like you might be needed.
Oh, I feel good. I think with every game I play, it's very helpful, and it gets me in better shape. So hopefully I'm just getting more and more ready.
How close are you to 100%?
It's difficult to say. I think it's a mixture of fitness-wise and also football-wise, but I feel good. I feel like I'm in a shape to at least make a difference.
Yeah, it's a shame for Hugo, another goal for him, the winner, but he just got a bit carried away, I think, didn't he? Yeah,
I'm sure he just wasn't aware of being on a yellow in that moment. Can sometimes be emotional, and so when you score a goal and you're just in that moment, so of course it's unfortunate.
When will a Liverpool win and first goal for Liverpool? Sum up your night.
No, amazing. It was good to get back out there and score my first goal here at Anfield, and the win as well. So it's a good night.
Is there a sense of relief after the first 40 seconds or so when you might have scored?
Yeah, of course. I should have scored that one as well. But that's a part of being a striker. You miss some and you score some, and I think the most important is to shake it off and to be ready for the next one.
Yeah, you did that. What does it mean? You must think a lot about that first goal, getting that first goal. So seeing it arrive.
Yeah, I just try to play my game and not think too much, and I feel confident in myself. That things will work out, and that when I get my chances, I'll put them away. That's my mindset, and I'm happy I put one away today.
Well, you're working on your fitness, I know, but are you fit and ready to go from the start on Saturday? Because it looks like you might be needed.
Oh, I feel good. I think with every game I play, it's very helpful, and it gets me in better shape. So hopefully I'm just getting more and more ready.
How close are you to 100%?
It's difficult to say. I think it's a mixture of fitness-wise and also football-wise. But I feel good. I feel like I'm in a shape to at least make a difference.
Yeah, it's a shame for Hugo. Another goal for him, the winner. But he just got a bit carried away, I think, didn't he? Yeah,
I'm sure he just wasn't aware of being on a yellow in that moment. Can sometimes be emotional and so when you score a goal and you're just in that moment. So of course it's unfortunate.
Well done tonight, though.
Alexander Isak off and running for Liverpool with the goal scoring 39 seconds really after Southampton should have taken the lead. And how often do we see this in football, Franny? Really great move from Southampton, but first Armstrong and then Cienza, who really should have put the Saints in front.
Yeah, I mean, Armstrong is the sort of player that you want in that kind of position, scoring the consolation goal at Hull City at the weekend and just got unfortunate with the rebound, but the header from Cienza, that's got to go in the back of the net, and it's a key moment of the game, isn't it? And straight away then it's that mentality, I think, as well, like you've gone from potentially taking a lead to going down the opposite end of the pitch and making a mistake, as we heard Will Still saying, is
because they'd intercepted, hadn't they? They'd actually won the ball back. You could see Will Still going, everybody calm down, but they'd won the ball back so well until here.
This is the pass, unfortunately, from Alex McCarthy, that it's just not the right ball, and then all the players out of position. You can see the time and space Isak has got to put the ball in the back of the net, and it's a simple goal for someone like him.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like what we said at the start of the game. It's Isak in the middle of the goal. He just bides his time, and obviously he's never going to miss from there. And like you say, if you want to beat Liverpool at Anfield, you can't make mistakes like that.
I mean, we actually saw at the beginning of the programme the goal he scored in the fourth round for Newcastle against Chelsea last year in the Carabao Cup. It was identical. And actually for him, having missed that chance in the first minute, well, to be fair, it was a good save. Actually in the first minute for him, even if you cost £5, let alone 125 million, you want your first goal, don't you? Then you just feel, right, now things can start, I can settle down.
Absolutely. It settles everybody down, strikers, their job is to score. So the longer they miss, the longer the periods go of lack of confidence. They start doubting themselves and overthinking when they do get in front of goal. But luckily for Isak, he should have scored the first one in the first minute. But, as he said in the interview, he stayed calm, waited for the next opportunity, and he took it.
How would you assess Isak's 45 minutes?
It was quiet. I think Southampton were the better side, sort of first half, and I think I mentioned to you when we were sat just next to the dugouts before half-time, Saints need to be going down the tunnel at least on level terms, certainly not behind, and that was the case, wasn't it? So the dynamics changed, I think, from them, that the chances they had, and again, a mistake which would be frustrating from Saints' perspective, but it was a quiet 45, certainly from Isak's perspective, but he scored a goal and it led to ultimately a win.
Well, how would you assess Rio Ngamo this evening? Because first half, very cleverly, Southampton were directing him into traffic a lot. But I thought it was really great the way he wanted the ball still in the second half, didn't he? That didn't dissuade him or deter him in any way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You could see Liverpool were trying to get him the ball to him as quick as possible, but Southampton were clearly aware of his ability, because every time they tried to double up on him every single time, and when he did come inside, the bench were clapping and almost celebrating because he wasn't driving at the fullback. But every time he did, he beat him. So hopefully he's going to have to learn with this, because people are going to be aware of his capabilities and they are going to double up on him, and he'll have to get used to it. But if he's positive and drives at people, it's going to be hard to quick he is. But like I say, for a young kid to keep wanting the ball at home, it was great to see.
I mean, Franny, age has got a number now, isn't it? We see so many of these kids Arsenal got a 15-year-old, 15, 16, 17, 18, and you look at them, you think, you play every Saturday in the Premier League, not a problem at all. Do you think it's remarkable watching it?
It is. I think, it's harder from probably back in my time, which was a long time ago now, but, I think if you're going to be a top player breaking through in the Premier League at a big club, you've got to be amongst the best in the world almost. It's not just the best in Britain anymore. To be playing at that kind of age, if you're good enough, you get the opportunities. And tonight would have been a big step for him in part of his progress and his learning, starting a game at such a tender age. I mean, getting off to a good start, talking about Isak, he did that, scoring that winner at Newcastle a few weeks back. So, all those kind of things go towards the development of a young player like him. But it was an exciting one, but a little bit quiet at times in the game here tonight. Yeah. But that's all part of learning.
You're allowed to be when you're a teenager, isn't it?
Exactly.
What about Giovanni Leone? That was such. He had a really calm game, didn't he? And it was just on the touchline where we are now, further up. It just seemed to land really awkwardly, and went past us with a bit of oxygen and his knee braced up. We just really hope he's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Fingers crossed he recovers quick. He didn't look too good at the end, but before that, in terms of how he played, he looked calm on the ball, made some good passes, read the, he didn't really make a tackle until he got injured, because he was reading the game so well. He was just intercepting everything. So he looked really comfortable, and he looked like he could be a great player going forward. So fingers crossed he recovers very quickly.
Well, Arne Slot actually can give us an update on his condition as well. Here he is with Gabriel Clark.
Well, first of all, Arne, how's Giovanni Leone? Because that looked nasty.
Yeah, that's what it did. If a player goes off like that, that is normally not a good sign. But yeah, as you probably can understand, we have to. How do you say this in English? We have to wait and see what it is. But normally not positive if a player goes off like this.
How do you sum up the team's night, the performance? Another late win. How do you evaluate it?
Yeah, late win indeed. Not the best performance, which is I think what you can expect if you play a complete new team, and that is maybe not the biggest problem, but so many players that haven't played for a long time. So you take that into account into some performances, but there were also positives to take. I think Giorgio Mamedashvili had a very good game. Giovanni Leone had a very good game. Federico Chiesa had a very good game.
Alexander Isak, a first goal.
A first goal from Alexander, another goal from Hugo. So there were also positives to take from the game, but in terms of how we played as a team, not taking anything away from Southampton, by the way, because they did really well. It wasn't our best performance.
And we almost end where we started, didn't we, Glenn? Liverpool have a brilliant habit of winning matches even when they're not at their best. And certainly in the first half, they were the second best team.
Yeah, and for probably spells in the second half too. I think Southampton probably be kicking themselves in terms of if they had a bit more belief in the second half, they might have got something out of this. But as you said, Liverpool, they weren't at it at all today, but they're good enough to win, and they've got that mentality, and that's what they're going to need to go going forward. And obviously, when you get the big guns back with the flow they've had in recent weeks, then they're going to take some stopping.
We were sitting literally behind the Southampton bench. What will Will Still and the coaching team take from this evening, Franny?
There will be that initial disappointment. I'm sure for me it's a missed opportunity tonight. Gifting another goal in the first half with the opportunities that they had. Should have scored, should have taken the lead. That would have been a completely different complexion on the game then. You'd have to say Liverpool gifted the goal back to get them back on level terms, and at that point I was hoping Saints were really going to then kick on and really take the game by the scruff of the neck and say this is our match to go through. In a one-off game with respect to the lineup that Slot put out tonight, it was an opportunity for Saints. They didn't take it, so that'd be the frustration. But there will be some positives to take from it. Better performance. It's now a case of what team he's going to put into the league games going forward.
But as you say, particularly the nature of the equaliser, having spurned such good chances in the first half, actually to be donated this equaliser really. Is there a miscommunication between Endo and Dans there, which just leads to it?
Yeah, I mean, a shout certainly helps in that scenario, doesn't it? But Endo almost gets mixed up. It's a dreadful header back in. Quasi gets that little touch, and Shea Charles is in the right place. No one's going to miss from there, you wouldn't have thought. And at that point, I thought, let's see a reaction from Saints. Let's see that real belief and take the game to Liverpool. But unfortunately, it wasn't there, and it was a good bit of play, probably the best bit of play in the game that scored to see the winner. It was almost as if Liverpool went, well, we've been in this situation so many times this season where we've been pegged back and we win it in the last 10 minutes. We know we're good enough and we can fashion something. As Franny says, by some distance, it was the best Liverpool move of the match, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Obviously, these are the moments. Obviously, there wasn't at it at all, but these are the class of these passes that cuts defences open from back there. That's what makes it. And Chiesa's got no option just to put it on the plate. It's great ball from Robbo, and that's where the goal is from this pass here. Because Chiesa's, his touch is great, but then other than that, he's not going to mess it up from there. And Nketiah's definitely not going to. It was tight though, wasn't it? I was wondering whether there wasn't offside in there with Chiesa, but his pass takes out, Alex McCarthy. It just puts it on the plate for Ekitike, doesn't it?
What about from a defensive point of view as the ball's played in from Robertson there and Chiesa makes the run?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good to see it again on the replay, but it's one of those ones as a defender, you've got to get that position right. If you take your eye off where the player is and you're out of position, even by a yard,
in a split second.
Yeah, that's what it takes, split second. And he's a quality player. His experience, and he stepped up in the key moment for Liverpool.
Ekitike's red card is pretty unnecessary, particularly when Liverpool are having to manage Alexander Isak's minutes. He came off at half-time to get himself suspended.
Yeah, it's
7 minutes into the second half, he gets booked. The decision goes against him.
Yeah, I think he forgot about this. I think that yellow card happened so early from him coming on. I think, I'm trying to defend him, but
but you're going to get a yellow if you take your shirt
absolutely,
off.
Of course, yeah. I just think he forgot about the first one.
Yeah, Amad Diallo did the same thing, Man United Liverpool game as well. And I think Frimpong comes over to him and goes, "Oi, you so-and-so, you're going to get sent off now." Look, he's saying, "What's he doing?"
Yeah, he'll be kicking himself.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, let's hear from the Southampton manager, Will Still, his reflections on the defeat. Here he is with Gabriel Clark.
Yeah, well, commiserations. Did you deserve better?
No, if we're giving away goals like the first one, that's just. I think that sums us up so far this season. I thought we've played really well in parts of that, and at least we've stood up and made ourselves manly and counted for. It just sums up the start of the season, sums up where it's going wrong for us at the moment. But I'm pleased with what how we reacted and what we did second half and how organised we were and how difficult we made it for them. But it's frustrating.
Yeah, what have you learned from your team though to build on, pushing Liverpool so close tonight?
I think it's nothing new. I think that we've shown potential, we've shown a lot of goodwill and the right intensity and the right patterns. But you've shot yourself in the own foot by conceding the first one, and then again you're sort of running after the game. I think we knew it was going to be tough coming here. I think it's just made it really frustrating to conceding the way we did. But we need to keep at it. I think we're starting to see a lot of good things. I know it's slow progress, but I think we kind of expected that and knew that. So head up, chin up, keep going, keep hammering that nail on the head, and I'm sure we'll click into gear when we do.
Thanks, Will.
Cheers.
So interesting, being literally a couple of yards behind the bench, that you can see what the whole coaching team are going through. Do you sense real progress tonight, despite the result? This is the best team in the land, Liverpool, let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. In the moment the draw was made, you knew it was going to be a difficult tie, regardless of what team Southampton were facing tonight. You've got to remember, there was a lot of changes, a lot of players, two key players, Diblin and Fernandes, left Southampton right on the eve of the transfer window. There was a number of players that come in, so there's a lot of changes, a lot of players that have come in. Will still needs a bit of time to work with the squad now. And in the Championship, we know what it's like. It's relentless. With the cup tie tonight, they play at home against Middlesbrough on Saturday, and then they've got 2 away games against Sheffield United and Derby. He's getting no time really to get that time on the grass, on the training ground, to work with the team. It's almost play, recover, prepare, play again. So he's going to need that bit of time as well. But you need those little points to pick up along the way just to keep you in touch and sort of like in the race for bouncing back up.
The patterns come during the game, not on the training ground, is what you're saying, because of the time, because there are so many matches.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
It's always been.
If I'd have scored a goal and then you're getting 40, you knew he was getting 45 minutes. That would have been pre-assumed. They've done everything they can, and right now it's just about managing him, getting him back, because he obviously missed a lot of pre-season because of what was happening at Newcastle, and it's always difficult to train on your own. So the sharpness is coming gradually, and they're going to need him the weekend. I'm sure he'll start against Crystal Palace, obviously, because of what's happened tonight.
Yeah, and we'll look at the Ekitike red card in a little while. But let's hear from Alexander Isak. He's alongside Andy Robertson with Juliet Ferrington.
Andrew, Alex, congratulations. First of all, Andy leaving it late again. It's another late show by Liverpool.
Yeah, but like I said, against Atletico, we can't keep relying on it. I don't think we were anywhere near the standards tonight. I don't think we were great. I think especially first half, you could see that a few of the lads hadn't played in a while. We were a little bit rusty on the ball, but the press wasn't good enough. Not intense enough. So tried to fix that second half. I think we got maybe slightly better, but not by much. And then when it's 1-0, you just kind of invite pressure, and they got a sloppy goal from our point. And then it was just us trying to get them back in it, and luckily we could do that. But far from the standards today.
Alex was all right though, wasn't he?
Yeah, look, delighted for him. Delighted to have him in the door, but then it's all about strikers getting their first goal. Everyone puts so much pressure on them, which is sometimes unfair. But I thought he could have done better, maybe in the first minute, maybe. But no, then when you get your first goal, he's going to score lots of goals for Liverpool, and the first one's always the hardest, and then hopefully many more to come.
Right, could you have done better?
The first chance, yeah, of course, should have been a goal. But I think it's always about being ready for the next one, which I was. So happy for that.
And how important was it? I know it was only your second start at Liverpool, because you haven't had that much of a pre-season at all, and training and everything else. But to get off the mark, because it's a competition, the Carabao Cup, you've certainly got a record in scoring goals in.
Yeah. I think it was good to get minutes, but of course it's a competitive game, so the main goal is to win, and we got to score goals. So that's my main priority, to help the team with my goals and my game. But it was good to get some more minutes as well, on the way to getting fit.
How far away are you from getting fit? Talk to us about that.
No, I feel good. I feel fit, of course. Obviously, it's still early. New club and new teammates, but I feel good. I think it's a great team to be a part of, and I think with all of the games I get, it's only going to get better.
And a first at half time to go off and do sprints?
Yeah, that was a new one. I can see it there. It was funny. It was a new experience, but, gotta get fit.
You can see the screen behind of what he was made to do. What do you make of that, Andy?
Yeah, obviously a lot's been, he's not had a much pre-season, but since he's came in fantastic shape. I thought he was excellent against Atletico. I thought he was really good again today, and he looks fit to me. Obviously the sports scientists maybe think a little bit differently, but yeah, look, that's what we had to do in pre-season, so maybe he's playing catch up while he was.
And just a word, vice captain, leading the team out in this competition. How are you enjoying that role?
Yeah, really good. Obviously had a good chat.
Just trod on his foot.
No, brilliant, yeah, steady. Obviously, proud to be vice captain of this club. Obviously proud when I got it, the manager gave me it, and then it's just about trying to help the team as much as possible. Obviously, today with Virgil getting the night off, then it means that I get to lead them out. So it's always an honour, and especially at home. And like I said, it's an honour to captain them tonight, and thankfully we got a win.
As vice captain, then, can I ask you about Etitike and his sending off and that second booking, the goal celebration, taking his shirt off? What were your thoughts as captain tonight?
Be very surprised if he does it again. Obviously, I think scoring a goal is always emotional, and you always, get that emotion. But he's obviously just forgot that he's probably been booked. These first ones, stupidity, kicking the ball away. We know the rules around that, and then it's 2 silly bookings to pick up, and now obviously we miss him for Saturday. So it's silly from his part, but he's only young and he'll learn from it. And happy that he scored, but then the last 10 minutes it was made a bit more difficult being down to 10 men. So he'll learn from it, and like I said, I'm sure he won't do it again.
Rest up, enjoy the night. Thank you for talking to us, and good luck for the future.